Yo, Elliott! What's up, guys? Today's question comes from Strength Camp Online member, as they all do, Austin Kleinshay. And Austin goes on to say that, I've been training quite a few of my friends lately, and they've started to show a great interest in functional training after they've seen my results. My issue is that I find it particularly difficult to teach them to deadlift and squat. They're beginners. What are some of the best cues that I can offer when teaching them how to master these exercises without having them get injured? Thanks, Austin. Well, Austin, as you know, I'm a coach and I've gotten great results with my clients, but what you might not know is that I've been coached. And throughout my career as a football player, strongman, and in my internships, mentorships, in becoming a coach, I've had some really incredible coaches, and I can think of two in particular. And the interesting thing about these two coaches is that they said very little. It wasn't a matter of what they said or cues they used. It was a matter of who they were being and what they expected of me when I trained with them. I'll tell you what I mean. So right out of college, I started working for a guy in Long Island, and he was a very conservative. I learned a lot of my training techniques with regard to the deadlift and the front squat, all this, you know, very, how would you say, conservative form through this coach. And the way he taught me was by having me train with him. He said the best way you're going to learn this is by you doing it with me. So he'd do, of course, like with any training partner, he'd do a set and I'd watch him. I'd just watch him. And then he'd say, okay, now I want you to try the same thing. And then I'd do the set. He wouldn't say very much. He might say good, or pick your chest up a little bit, or just very, very few things. He didn't say very much at all. And then I'd put the weight down, and then he'd do it again, and I'd watch him. And then over time, just because I'd see him do it, and then I'd practice it right after him, I began to pick up on all of the minutia, all the little strange intricacies of the way he did the movement. It was because I was doing the thing with him all the time that I was able to grow my ability to perform the movement. Right? Interesting. Monkey see, monkey do. There wasn't much monkey talking. So, quite frankly, there wasn't much cueing or talking going on. It was a matter of me doing what I saw him doing and constantly trying to use my own kinesthetic awareness, which everyone has. You know, the more they train with you, the more they'll be like you. And you know, there it goes. That was the coaching technique, right? So if you're training with your training partners and they see you doing it, and then they go and do it. And if you know, the other thing is if you got too many training partners, it becomes a shit show where you guys are all exercising your jaw, you know, talking about a whole bunch of bullshit or checking out your iPhones and stuff. But if they're actually observing you and you're observing them and you're working together, it's just a matter of osmosis, being in your presence. They will gain strength, and you know, you're choosing the exercises in the routine, and of course you're choosing exercises that help support the development of those lifts, like accessory lifts. If they keep doing what you're doing, they're going to get what you get, right? The other coach was my strongman coach, Tom Mitchell. And you know, of course, strongman is on the other end of the spectrum. That's why, you know, it's kind of interesting the way I coach, is because I'm very conservative. I learned from my conservative coach, right? And then I also went and did strongman, trying to get my hands straight. And he was very liberal, meaning like, I don't give a fuck what you do as long as you don't hurt yourself, because I ain't cleaning up the mess. That was his attitude. And you know, we were lifting stones and flipping tires and carrying kegs and putting these big yokes. You've seen these in some of my videos. And it was completely oddball, crazy, odd object training. And he didn't teach me a goddamn thing. He would just point and say, go ahead and pick that up. I remember the first time I did stones, he stood behind the platform, rested his arms on it, right? So he's behind the platform. I'm in front of it with this 225-pound stone, and he's got the platform here, and he goes, go on and pick that up and put it on here. And I'm like, Okay, I mean, never having done this before in my life. You guys watch me in the open gym videos where I am teaching guys how to lift the stone, because it's like, well, you're probably not gonna come back here very often so that you can continue to progress. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of tips. He didn't give me no goddamn tips at all. He just said, pick it up. And I'm there, literally struggling, trying to pick this fucking thing up. I'm like, this has got to be impossible. But meanwhile, there are stones, like, I'm picking up a stone, and there are ones that are like 3 or 4 times bigger over there. And I'm like, somebody's picking this thing up, so it's got to be, possibly be done. And I'm struggling, trying to figure it out. And then eventually I figure it out on my own. I get it on my lap, and I put it on top. I smile, and he says, do it again. Right? And that's how I learned strongman form, technique. And if you watch me coaching a lot of times, I go from that conservative deadlift to fuck shit up with that stone. So this is kind of a long way of me saying, my friend, that you don't need to get too caught up in the technicalities of verbiage. What are you gonna say in order for them to do what you want them to do? But you do what you want them to do, and then you have an expectation for them to get it done. You see that? Done.
Elliott said, what?